So I recently visited Hell on Earth, also known as the movie theater, and yeah, I saw Papa Chazelle's Babylon, and it was pretty much the worst theater experience of my life. Not due to the film, but I'll get into that later. I also finally got around to watching Tom Cruise Maverick, a Tom Cruise film. So yeah, man, let's get into it. Ba-bam! First up, it's fresh DC. It's Big Daddy it's Big Daddy Damien's Babylon, guys. And yeah, I don't really anticipate movies anymore because I'm dead inside, but I was obviously quite looking forward to this one. The guy has directed two of my favorite films of all time,
both of which are masterpieces,
as well as some boring ass space biopic. Yeah, no thanks.
First Man, my least favorite Chazelle.
Anyways, this was supposed to be his redemptive film because you don't make a film as boring as First Bland and expect to get away with it. No, no, no. So, was this his redemptive feature? Sort of. It was decent. It certainly doesn't live up to the Chazelle standard of excellence, however. I would say this film is most interesting for the fact that it's an auteur filmmaker being given $100 million and absolutely no one to tell him no to any of his creative decisions. So yeah, if you're not a Damien Chazelle fan, you should definitely avoid this because it's a borderline parody of his films. It's constant whip pans, about 5 different shots of zooming in on trumpets. You got your dreamer archetype characters, who in this film are just distilled down to their most basic essence. So yeah, it's pretty much the antithesis to the comatose nonsense of First Bland, which didn't even feel like it was directed by him. The film starts off on a pretty not great note, though. The opening scene features one of the main characters driving an elephant in a truck up a hill before, whoa, shenanigans, as the elephant starts defecating everywhere, including on the camera lens, and yeah, it really set the stage for maybe the film's biggest shortcoming, which is its really unfunny broad comedy. And yeah, the script is just littered with really forced and lame profanity as well. It wasn't exactly Whiplash or Casino, it was really try-hard. It was like Stuckman levels. It was like Stuckman level swearing.
Not to get like, super fucking inspiring or whatever.
You got your usual skillful Chazelle camera work, though, as well as some bad boy saxophone motifs from Justin Hurwitz, which combined really nicely with some of the editing from Mr. Tom Crosscuts. The film would cut from multiple characters while the jazz music was just blaring in the score. I was just sitting there thinking, wow, I can't believe cinema is firing on all cylinders. And yeah, the scenarios the characters find themselves in are undeniably entertaining, especially with Bully Maguire, who I forgot was even in the film. So it was basically a punchline when he showed up. It was almost impossible to take seriously. He's not in the movie much, but where they go with his character is weird, to say the least, so I won't get into specifics, but man, when he says, I thought we were gonna make movies together, it was easily the funniest part of the film. The cinematography was very good, but it's not even close to The Land of Laws. It's not even the same ballpark. There was some weirdly inconsistent color grading in the opening scene, though, where it went from really desaturated to really oversaturated when the lighting changed, and it looked pretty not great. There were also a few cuts near the beginning where a character overdoses that felt kind of choppy and sloppy. You could call it nitpicking, but it really stood out like a sore thumb when Whiplash is about as meticulously edited as movies get. There were also some bizarre moments where the film looked like it was being projected at like 60 frames per second. There were quite a few scenes near the end, but also one near the halfway point where a character was in a movie theater and the frame rate just looked like it was shot on an iPhone or something. But yeah, despite the film being mostly engaging for its bloated runtime, there's not a ton of substance to it. The characters are all very thin. The narrative isn't all that focused. It just kind of pisses around across different scenarios, and then occasionally Brad Pitt will go off like, "Ugh, I'm an aging movie star. My time is coming to an end." And it was just really unearned because the film spent basically no time developing his character. Mild spoilers, but the film also ends with some really lame montage where it shows how cinema has progressed, and we get footage from other films through the years, including Jimmy Cameron's Avatar, which was just cringe beyond belief. There was also a shot where it pans over a movie theater audience showing how immersed they are in cinema, which was it just really twisted the knife in my side, frankly, because of all the idiots in the theater while I was seeing this, which, yeah, I guess I'll rant about that. Anyways, 6 out of 10. Hopefully it gets better on a second viewing and this review becomes horribly outdated, but, yeah, not in a huge rush to get back to this. Anyways, seeing this in the theater, though, was the worst theater experience of my life. So I get to the theater, and the employee's all like, "Oh, can I see some ID?" Because apparently this film is the most hard R, edgy thing ever made, even though it really wasn't. So I'm like, "Oh, sure." And she was just like, "Oh, you look younger."
Yeah? Well, you have Asperger's.
And, yeah, it was the most socially awkward thing I've ever seen. So I get into the theater, and, it wasn't much better, so I sit through all these crap trailers, like 80 for Brady, Cocaine Bear, just absolute nonsense. And then I get the absolute poison that is the cast opening of a film where they're like, "Oh, thanks for coming to see the movie. We hope you enjoy it." It's just the most pandering crap ever, because Hollywood knows that everyone hates them, and they're sick of their nonsense, and they're just like, "Oh, please give us money. Please like our film." It just reeks of desperation. I hate those videos so much, but the mix on it was about 5 times louder than it needed to be.
My character is Manuel Torres.
She added
He's
the love. She's an
movie lover.
inspiring
He's a dreamer.
actress.
And then the movie started, and it was just a bunch of idiots talking at full volume for the entire runtime. Like, the title card of the film comes up, with some dramatic music, and they're like, "Wow, okay." I'm thinking, dude, if you can't handle music having a presence in a film, then just go back to watching your wallpaper paste bullshit from Kevin Feige. Because leave Damien Chazelle alone. Why are you even here? And afterwards I overhear them like, "Oh, I didn't even know anything about this. I just wandered in." I'm thinking, I watched this on the Thursday screening. Like, the movie's not even out yet. People are watching this because they want to see the film. Then Tobey Maguire showed up, and they were all like, "Is that Spider-Man? Oh, dude, it's Spider-Man." I'm thinking, shut the hell up. Shut up! This is not your living room! So yeah, to anyone like Chris Stuckman who says, "Oh, the movie theater, it's like my church," piss off. I really prefer watching movies on streaming, and speaking of which, I finally got around to watching Top Gun Maverick, and yeah, dude, this really was one of the best films I think I've ever seen.
And is one of the greatest movies ever made.
And, yeah, I guess if I was 55, maybe a single tear would have came to my eye when Danger Zone started playing, but, yeah, not really a fan of the first Top Gun. I think I did a 5-second review of it at one point. It's pretty good if you like to jerk off to airplanes, I guess. And, yeah, I was kind of hoping that this would be a lot better. The way that people hyped it up, I was kind of expecting it to be, some Mission Impossible style awesome action where Tom Cruise is risking his life in every scene, and yeah, I guess he was, but the coverage was really basic and kind of boring. They're all like, we have so many IMAX cameras in the cockpit, and they're just, switching between like 6 camera angles.
We're working with a brand new camera system that allows us to put 6 IMAX quality cameras inside the cockpit with the actors. And
yeah, it was just kind of underwhelming. All the characters were super stock and basic. Speaking of stock, you got the "it's just a stock exchange" guy from The Dark Knight Rises, so great to see him in movies, I guess. I guess he's a thing now. But, yeah, I have literally nothing to say about this because there's nothing that I extremely liked or disliked. It was movie the movie. the movie. And yeah, the reception of this film was horribly cringe. Not to knock anyone who likes this movie by any means, but the idea that this is like one of the best movies ever made because, oh man, it's so apolitical. That's how low the bar is now. There weren't politics and Tom Cruise flew a plane. That means it's a 10. Really? That's it? Really? You got Geeks and Gamers who made like 25 videos on this. Every time this film would make like $2 more in its 10th weekend, they'd be like, it just made $2 more without China's help. And then, they put like Tom Cruise cheering in the thumbnail because, we got to embrace Daddy Cruise. So yeah, in summary, this film was flawless.
Let me be clear. Top Gun Maverick is a phenomenal film in every single way. I don't have anything bad to say about the movie.
Better than Citizen Kane, infallible in every conceivable way, and yeah, if you criticize it, damn you. Anyways, I would give this film a very neutral 5 out of 10.
Heresy!
But, actually, this kind of was one of the best films I've ever seen. Never mind, I'm 10 out of 10, loved it. Perfect, awesome-tacular.
Awesome-tacular.
This is why we go to the movies. The audience was cheering.
The theater was applauding. We were cheering.
Tom Cruise did it again.
Tom Cruise, we did it again.
Let me be clear. Top Gun Maverick is a phenomenal film in every single way.
Outstanding!
We're working with a brand new camera system that allows us to put 6 IMAX quality cameras inside the cockpit with the actors.
Ben's Movie Channel did a review of it saying that it's bad or it's like mediocre.
One of the greatest movies ever made.
How does he know it's mediocre?
Anyways, those are my thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Agree, disagree, would love to know. And yeah, think that's gonna do it, boys. Thanks for watching. Bye.